Whew. Offensive formations, the pre-release thought. Yeah, it's already time for that. That really kind of snuck up on me. Was I really anticipating this? No, not really. I'm not that prepared. And yet, here we are. It is indeed time for me to offer my pre-release thoughts on offensive formations. The reason that this has kind of snuck up on me, I guess, is because I typically would not have had this much distance between finishing the book and actually recording these pre-release thoughts. It's usually a pretty immediate thing. We're being different this time though, you know? I was supposed to be like really on it, really on my job, really on my grind, all of that, blah, blah, blah. That ain't really happened though. See, what had actually happened was I got a little overwhelmed with life and all these other things that I kind of had going on, and I lost the thread a bit. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm here and I'm ready to talk about it without any spoilers as usual. Okay, I'm gonna get into it. Pre-release thoughts, offensive formations. Go. So, offensive formations is this almost strange kind of dynamic in terms of the trope. So, we start as strangers and we go from strangers to enemies to friends to lovers. And the way this all develops is, I just really love it. I really love it. And you wouldn't think so, like as much as I have complained about the slow burn aspect of this book, you really would not think that looking back on it, I can say I really love the transitions that they go through in this book. But these are characters who just have so much in common. There's so much that they could learn from each other, so much that they can learn together, so many different ways that they just kind of bounce off of each other for their individual development and also for their development together, that it's just, I don't know, it's just really, really good. And I'm honestly surprised to hear myself I'm surprised to hear myself say that, because when I finished the read through for this book, I just felt so strange, like not good, not bad, just strange. And it was crazy because I know that a large part of that is me having come at it from just like a different dynamic than I might normally do. Like my process is typically very haphazard. And so I've been trying to not do that. And so my process, like once the book was over, was just very structured in a way that it normally isn't. And so I think that just mentally trying to work my way through that, I think it affected what I might normally experience through the process of reading through the book. Something that did really stand out for me as I was reading it though is just the absolute dreaminess of Ambrose. And it's so funny because I asked my friend who had read it, who's already read it, I asked her, you know, what should I make sure to include in my pre-release thoughts? And she was like, you got to talk about how dreamy Brose is. And I was like, you know what? Because baby, we do got to talk about it, okay? Like I joke sometimes about, you know, certain heroes that, man, I would tase him, etc., etc., etc. But I love every hero that I write. Like that is part of the appeal, you know, to putting the heroines with them. Like they have to be good enough for my heroines. They have to be capable of giving them that happily ever after, and it's gonna be a certain type of man. And baby, Ambrose McNeil, baby, I don't know if I have another hero that can check off boxes like Mr. Ambrose McNeil can. He is just so I remember when I first sent like the first chapter or the first little snippet of something from Ambrose's point of view to another friend of mine, and her first words was, "Oh my God, he's a sad boy." And I mean, in some ways the answer to that question is yes, but he's more than that. I think that the easiest comparison for Ambrose would be Pierre Perry III from behind the scenes, just because of the certain moody quality that both of these men have about them. And there's also the fact that they both come from these privileged backgrounds. They both come from these backgrounds where there's this legacy to live up to. Tegan has that similarity as well. But whereas Pierre is kind of trying to prove that he's not just, not just some privileged kid of Hollywood royalty, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ambrose, more than anything, I think in the beginning, he thinks that it is about public approval and about his reputation, about proving himself and all of these things. But ultimately, I think that he discovers that really not about any of that at all. Now, what it is about, you'll have to read the book to find that out. But I'm just saying, like, it's in there. Oh, and my Tegan, oh, Tegan. Tegan suffers from this affliction that a lot of young female, these beautiful celebrity women suffer. The internet just has so many opinions of her. So many opinions of her. And it's like really crazy right now to have the whole Naomi Osaka controversy happening. Well, I call it controversy, but hashtag Team Naomi, just to keep it simple without getting into all the semantics of it and all of that. But it's funny because that's actually a large part of Tegan's frustration, like especially at the very beginning of the book, and honestly throughout, just these different things that happen, and the fact that she is trying to build her legacy as, as a giant in this tennis thing. And she is very much thinking about, what are people going to think of me when they look back? And instead of like the media focus being on that, being on how she's playing, how she's performing on these courts, it's all about, what's going on with your ex, and what does your ex think about this? And what about when you were twerking with your cousin on Instagram last night? I think what's more frustrating for her and, for other women in, I guess, today's day and age, is this idea that a cute little twerk or whatever on the internet, and that means, and somehow that defines you now. You're telling me that I am a world championship tennis player, and because I danced, in some shorts, that that's all you want to talk to me about, that's all you want to focus on. And it's like, I'm not reducing myself to anything. You're reducing me to that. You're too shallow. You're too short-sighted to be able to see beyond that and see me as this multifaceted person and this, this dynamic person. And it's not even so much that she wants people to not have their opinions on it, because people are going to have their opinions on it. It's what they do with those opinions, it's how they take those opinions and run with them, that has her just so bothered. I feel like I'm saying way too much. Y'all know I like to usually keep these short, so I don't be talking too much, but I do be talking too much, man. So let me get to just some other little, some other notes, some other important stuff you might want to know about this book. So Offensive Formations does carry a trigger/content warning. There is mention and depiction of domestic violence / domestic abuse. It is not like detailed, like graphically or anything like that, because I did not, what's there is enough. But that is not to make light of it. That's just me trying to explain how much of a trigger potentially it may or may not be. I do not think that it is graphic, but if that is something that you are sensitive to, you may want to be mindful before you dive into this project so that you can make an informed decision about whether or not you want to read this project. It will not be available in the KU library. I know that is kind of a sore point for some of you, and I'm sorry for that. But I've talked about this in the past, how I have to make sure that I am kind of taking control of my own publishing, owning my masters in essence. And this is part of that. It will not be available in the KU program. It will be available across most major retailers. Additionally, it will be available actually a day early. It'll be available tomorrow, which is June the 3rd, exclusively on my website. And if you purchase it from me, any one other item you add to that cart, I'm going to give you 25% off on that additional item. And that includes audiobooks, which are now available on my Shopify site and will be delivered via BookFunnel instead of Soundwise. What else? Price point $7.99. What else? I think that's it. Price $7.99, not available in KU. Will be available on other retailers, hopefully available for Overdrive, Hoopla, Scribd. Maybe not Scribd because Scribd be acting funny. So I don't know about Scribd, but Overdrive and Hoopla should have it pretty soon. And like I said, it will be available on my website tomorrow, June the 3rd, and then the following day, June 4th, which was the original release day, it'll be available for purchase on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iBooks, etc. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I'm pretty sure I have talked long enough. This is already much longer than I intended it to be, but y'all know me. Y'all know I'm long-winded. So, things to look forward to. I am going to be relaunching Storytime. I am very much looking forward to all the ways that I am already, thinking through making that better, making it just a more dynamic, more vivid listening experience for you guys. I have a few other things up my sleeve that I am not ready to talk about just yet, but you can definitely look forward to Storytime, and you can definitely look forward to reading Offensive Formations tomorrow. If you order it through my website, it'll be available at midnight tonight. I'll have the link and all of that. Like, don't go looking because you're not gonna find it. The link does not go live until midnight, but I'll make sure to share the link and everything across social media once it's live. And then on June 4th, you'll be able to get it at the other major retailers and all of that. So yeah, I'm out. Bye.